Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be predicting the Oscars. Now, before I give you my predictions, feel free to share some of your predictions at the Oscars down below in the comments. So, the first category that let's talk about is Best Visual Effects. The nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. And Avatar: Way of Water is definitely winning this. There's no question about it. I think that's like one thing that I think everyone is going to predict. Now for Best Production Design, the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis and the Fabelmans, and it comes down to two movies, Elvis or Babylon. And to be clear, I actually have not seen Babylon, but I have seen Elvis, and I can tell you that the production design in that is sick. And I do think Elvis is winning Best Production Design. For Best Sound, and this is the hardest one of the three so far. The nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick. It comes down to The Batman or Top Gun: Maverick when it comes to Best Sound. And I'm going to give it to The Batman. And to be clear, I also want it to win, and it's my favorite movie of last year. Now for Best Cinematography, All Quiet on the Western Front, Bordeaux, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. I'm going to go with All Quiet on the Western Front for Best Cinematography. And from the little I've heard about it, I've heard the cinematography is pretty good. And to be clear, before I do more predicting, I actually haven't seen a handful of these films, so sometimes I kind of have to go based on like what I've heard. So yeah. Now for Best Film Editing, the nominees were The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun: Maverick. I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, but that is one of the most popular films at the Oscars. I think this is gonna win a bunch of Oscars, and I heard the editing in that was pretty sick. So I don't even need to use the internet to see who's the most likely to win. It's probably gonna be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, the nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. That is very easily going to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever on this one. I believe the original film also won Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and to be fair, it looks just as good in this, and arguably even better than the first Black Panther for makeup and hairstyling. Now for Best Documentary Short Film, and I have not seen any of this, so I'm just going to give a random answer. The nominees were The Elephant Whispers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger in the Gate. I'm just going to go with The Elephant and Elephant Whispers, because that's the only one I've heard a little bit about. And then for Best Animated Short Films, the nominees were An Ostrich Told Me the World Is Fake, My Year of Things, Ice Merchants, The Flyer Sailor, and The Boys. And the thing I think is going to win is Ice Merchants, because that's like the only one I even heard a little bit about. Now for Best Live Action Short Film, the nominees were An Irish Goodbye, Ivali, Live Hill, Night Cried in the Red Suitcase. I'm going to go with The Red Suitcase, because like that and Night Ride are the only ones I've heard a little bit about. And now we're going to stuff that I've actually heard much more about. And now next up, I'm going for Best Costume Design. The nominees were Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Babylon, The Woman King, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And so Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I think, is going to win Best Makeup and Hairstyling. And I also think it's going to win Best Costume Design as well. And then for Best International Feature Film, the nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl. It's definitely going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. I would be shocked if any other film wins that. And then for Best Documentary Feature, the nominees were Fire of Love, All the Beauty and the Bloodhead, All That Rest, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. And I'm going to go with Fire of Love for Best Documentary Feature. Now, the last few are ones that are mainly the big ones in this video. And the next category is Best Original Song. And the nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Not To from RRR, Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, and This Is Alive from Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it comes down to two things. And conveniently, these are the only two movies I've seen in this category. It's between Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. I'm gonna give a slight edge to Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, I just think because of what it represents, I think the Oscars are gonna give a slight edge to that film. Now for Best Original Score, the nominees are John Williams for The Fabelmans, Sun Lux from Everything Everywhere All at Once, Carter Burwell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Justin Hurwitz from Babylon, or Volker Bertelmann for All Quiet on the Western Front. And I think this is between two films, Babylon or The Fabelmans. Now, on one hand, you have John Williams, who hasn't been nominated in 3 years, which I believe is the largest gap. He's John Williams. He's been nominated about 53, 54 times. And Babylon, a movie that a lot of people don't love, but they say the score is amazing. I think solely because John Williams has won a bunch, I think they're going to give it to Justin Hurwitz for Babylon for Best Original Score. Now, Best Animated Feature. The Sea Beast, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, or Marcel Shell. Now, it's definitely not going to be Turning Red, and I'd be very upset if Turning Red won. I actually haven't seen the other films, and, I kind of wish, Lightyear and Strange World got nominated, or maybe, The Sea Beast and Turning Red. And, I think it comes down to two movies, Puss in Boots, or Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And I think a lot of people think Puss in Boots is going to win. And I want to go with a little bit of an underdog. I think Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is winning Best Animated Feature Film. And Guillermo del Toro has won an Oscar before. He's a really good director, has an interesting style, so I think he's going to win. Now here is when it starts to really get interesting. So next is Best Original Screenplay. And the nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, screenplay by Martin McDonagh, Everything Everywhere All at Once, screenplay by the Daniels, The Fabelmans, screenplay by Spielberg and Tony Kushner, Tar, screenplay by Todd Field, and Triangle of Sadness, screenplay by Ruben Östlund. And this comes down to three films: Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, or The Fabelmans. And of these three, The Fabelmans is the only one I've seen, and honestly, I kind of want it to win because it has an interesting story, and this is a movie that you can tell Spielberg poured his heart and soul. However, because Spielberg's won before, I don't think he's winning, and this is tough. But I'm gonna go with Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin. Now, I've heard that movie is great, and Banshees of Inisherin is one of the best films of the year, I heard. And because I don't think it's gonna win any other major categories, I think they're gonna give it to him on Best Original Screenplay. Now, for Best Adapted Screenplay, the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, or Women Talking. Now, of these movies, Top Gun Maverick and Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery are the only ones I've seen, and they're two of my five favorite movies of the year. And I'm just gonna do some elimination. I do not think All Quiet on the Western Front has a shot. I don't think Living's gonna win, and I don't think Women Talking's gonna win. So, I'm actually, and this might actually surprise you, it's between Top Gun Maverick and Glass Onion and Knives Out. Now, personally, I think Glass Onion and Knives Out was a little better than Top Gun Maverick. And Rian Johnson should have won for the first Knives Out for screenplay, and he also should have won for The Last Jedi, which I know is a hot topic, and we won't get into right now. And between Knives Out and Top Gun Maverick, a lot of people love Top Gun Maverick more. However, this might be a bit of an underdog. I'm gonna actually go with Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery for winning Best Adapted Screenplay. And it is also, maybe I could be a little biased because that's the film that I really want to win, but I honestly think it has a shot to win. So, let's move on to Best Director, and this is the hardest one yet. So the nominees are Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Spielberg for Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. And I think it comes down to Steven Spielberg, Martin McDonagh, and the Daniels. So actually, I think of the three, Martin McDonagh is the least likely to win. Between Spielberg and the Daniels, I think they're gonna give it to the Daniels because for Everything Everywhere All at Once, because Spielberg's won before, and Oscars sometimes love to give other movies or directors a shot. Like they usually don't love to have the same person win every time, which is kind of my mindset for this. Now, let's move on to the acting categories. Let's start with Best Supporting Actress. And if I'm being completely honest, this is probably the least competitive of the four. However, it is still pretty competitive. The nominees are Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Hong Chau for The Whale, Kerry Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So I don't think Stephanie Hsu's winning. I don't think Hong Chau's winning. Now, between the other three, who do I think is going to win? I think third most likely to win is Kerry Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. I think second most likely to win is, and this is a tough one. So it's between Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once and Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. However, because, this Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, it had an impossible task of telling a story, and Angela Bassett is the first MCU actor to actually ever get nominated, and she won the Golden Globe. I think Angela Bassett's gonna win for Best Actress in a Supporting Role. But if it's not her, I think it'll be Jamie Lee Curtis. I genuinely think Angela Bassett's winning. Now for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, the nominees are Ke-Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, and Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin. Now, I don't think Barry Keoghan, Judd Hirsch, or Brian Tyree Henry have a shot at winning. So it's between Ke-Huy Quan and Brendan Gleeson, and I honestly wish Paul Dano got nominated for The Fabelmans or The Batman, because it's kind of a crime. He actually might have had the best year because of his two great movies are two of the top 10 best performances of the year. However, that's a topic for another time. But between Ke-Huy Quan and Brendan Gleeson, who do I think is gonna win? I think Ke-Huy Quan's winning. He made a big comeback by doing Everything Everywhere All at Once like after not acting for about 20 years, and he had a really successful child career in movies like Indiana Jones and The Goonies, and yeah, it's crazy that he came back after 20 years, and he had a very emotional speech at the Golden Globes, and yeah, I genuinely think he outruns winning Best Supporting Actor. Now, for Best Actress in a Leading Role, the nominees are Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blondie, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, it's definitely not going to be Ana de Armas because the movie Blondie is apparently a very bad movie. It's definitely not going to be Andrea Riseborough, and it's probably not going to be Michelle Williams. So, between Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh, who do I think's winning? I think, kind of like Spielberg, because Cate Blanchett's won before for acting, I don't think Cate Blanchett's winning for Tar, so I think Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once is winning Best Actress in a Leading Role. Now, the most competitive yet, so we just have two more, Best Actor in a Leading Role and Best Picture. For Best Actor in a Leading Role, the nominees are Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for Aftersun, and Bill Nighy for Living. So I don't think Paul Mescal is winning, which, I honestly wish Tom Cruise got nominated for acting in Top Gun Maverick, but it's okay. It's definitely not going to be Bill Nighy for Living. However, it's between Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, and Brendan Fraser. Now, who do I think's winning? I think between these three, I think Colin Farrell's least likely to win. But between Austin Butler and Brendan Gleeson, I think Austin Butler's winning Best Actor in a Leading Role. So I'm going with Austin Butler. Now, the final category is Best Picture. And the nominees are Avatar, The Way of Water, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. So it's between Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, and Top Gun Maverick. I think The Fabelmans is fourth most likely to win. So that leaves us for Top Gun Maverick, The Banshees of Inisherin, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. So I think between these three, The Banshees of Inisherin is third most likely to win. So between Top Gun Maverick and Everything Everywhere All at Once, what do I think's winning? I think Top Gun Maverick is second most likely to win. So I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win Best Picture. So those are all my predictions. What are your predictions? Feel free to share your predictions down below in the comments. And, I'm very excited for the Oscars. I'm excited to see who wins this year. And, I'm excited to just watch the Oscars in general. And I have a recap coming now. Thanks for watching, and peace out.